All right. So what we have is we had an A-line bob on here that was a blunt cut, and it was just straight down a natural fall. But this one we're going to actually start to stack and do a graduated cut on. So it's going to be shifting it like we did on that rectangle piece. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to work one side and then the other. What we're going to have is we're still going to have the A-line, or what we would call diagonal forward cut, where it gets longer towards the front. But we're going to have the back stacked with some layers back here. But the whole haircut is moving, down and forward. So what we're going to do, and I'm going to try to squat so I don't get in the way of it, is when I work this side, so I have it parted straight down the middle and then just clipped. And I have two diagonal forward parts. So if I was just working this side, I'd be going down this way, but when I work this side, I gotta go down this way. So I have two parts and I'm gonna work my way back and forth. Because her hair is already cut into the A-line, I'm not changing, oops, I sent this little video in rocket motion. I'm not going to change the length of her hair in the front. I'm going to keep that the length it already was. I'm using that kind of as my guide. So I have it divided in half, and I'm going to take this section, this bottom one right here, and I'm going to do that perpendicular distribution where what I did in that video where you lay the comb like here and you see the teeth of the comb, and that's the way I want it to run. So I'm going to run it and distribute the hair over here. Now I'm using this bottom piece right down here as my guide, but I'm taking off some of this upper hair in this diagonal line. So I would do that one first, and then I would come over here to the other side and I would do it too. So I take a little tiny sliver of that piece and I take this one and I shift it over this way to the center. So basically everything's coming to the center back. I can see my little guideline in there, put my fingers in the diagonal position, I've got it distributed over, and I'm going to cut from my guide right there up here to the middle. Now I left this white towel on here so you can see the line that it's creating, but in reality I really wouldn't want anything on the neck here, so if you don't want to put anything underneath it, you don't have to. I'm just doing it this way so you can see the drop in the hair. So, and then but to move on, I want to make sure that my outer corners are even. And so I'm bringing them here to the center and making sure that those are even. Once I have that first piece done, it's really simple from there, because all I'm going to do is continue making these diagonal forward parts and clipping the rest of the hair out of the way. And again, if I stand where I really need to stand, I'm going to be in the way of the camera. But what I really want to do is stand, directly in the center of the back of the head and drag everything and distribute everything to that area. But again, if I stand here, obviously y'all can't see. So I'm doing my best to do it where you can see. So again, distribute, comb the hair over, holding all the hair from the underneath as well. Distribute it over to the center. I see my guide underneath and I'm going to cut to it. And then again, I'm just going to dip down again, bring this side over, shifting it and distributing it because I'm combing it over to the center. I see my guide. And I get that. So you can really see now I'm starting to get some stacking going on up here in the center of this head right here. And if I want, I can double check myself again. Just make sure I didn't cut into anything. And that's looking pretty good. So I'm going to take another piece. And I'm taking fairly large sections. As long as I can see through them, I'm good. Now, if y'all have any questions, don't hesitate. Just stop me and ask while we're doing this, and I will answer. Now, you notice I'm really starting to get into the sides a little bit here. So you'll see my partings will still extend all the way through the side. So I'm going to turn it a little bit so you can just see this side. And so I will bring this hair from this side over to the center. So basically what I'm doing is I'm dragging this side here to the center. And I look for my guideline underneath. And now I'm really starting to have a whole bunch of hair here in my hand. So you'll see me kind of break it up and do a little bit at a time. Like I just did that piece in 3 pieces. And all I'm doing is dragging it to the center. Now I'm going to take this one and drag it to the center. And comb and distribute it straight here to the center. There's my guideline underneath. And take that off. Right here to the center back. And again, comb it down and look how it lays. You're going to notice that you're going to start getting shorter and shorter layers here in the center. All right, next one. And I'll show you this parting so you can see that it goes all the way to the front now. Oops, sorry, kicked the stand. So now you'll see that this parting goes all the way to the front. So you can see that. So I'm taking in this whole front side, and again, I'm going to take this and I'm going to shift it and pull it. I'm still going to tilt her forward just a little bit. I'm going to pull it all the way here to the back. And I should be getting less and less hair to cut because all this hair at the front is having to travel a much further distance to get back here. So really and truly the idea is that when I get to the front, there won't be hardly any hair to cut. Most of the hair was cut back here. So think when we first did this haircut, we went straight down a natural fall and we just angled our fingers and did this. Now what I'm doing this time is I'm actually dragging or distributing this hair to the back. So as you can see, it's traveling a much further distance to get to that guideline. So there's a stationary guideline for this side back here, and then there's a stationary guideline for this side back here. So now I'm going to pull this one. I'm just going to turn her. And I'm going to direct this one and distribute it straight back here to the back center. And I don't hardly have anything to cut right there, so I'm going to pull on up. And there I'll have a little bit to cut right here. Not much. And go ahead and bring it all the way right here to the center. And again, cut that little bit. And now you can really start to see that. You're really getting a lot of height and movement. And it's really good from a side view now because you can see the shape that it's starting to take. And y'all see what I'm talking about when you get in the video. The video's a little closer up so you can see it. I'm going to take 2 more sections on each side. So let's do this one. And once we get this one, we'll only have 1 more section left. And we've got this side I can show you. So again, shift, direct, distribute the hair back to the center like this. Bring it right here in the back center. And I have like only a couple of hairs because I'm not taking anything from that front piece. I'll do this side. Same thing, shouldn't have but maybe a couple of little stray hairs to cut. And now I'll take my remaining 2 sections and do the same thing. Now, if your client had a natural side part, you would go ahead and section this off instead of straight down the middle. You would use her side part and then bring it. So if you had a side part here, you would come in and then you would bring it straight down the center. Meaning, like, even if she was a side part here, you would come in and bring it straight down the center. Let me show you in the video. Even if she was a side part, you would start, but then angle back here to the center piece. Once you've got this last piece coming in, you'll just distribute it back, comb it back to the center, and if there's anything left to cut here, this is where you would cut it. And you're just bringing it straight back here to the center. And then the same thing on the other side. Straight back here to the center. Let me get on this side so I can see it. Oh wait, I saw one hair. I didn't have much. All right, and then this is what you're left with. I'm trying to put it in camera. I'll show you both. So you have this with your stack up in here and your swing going forward like this and your swing going forward here. So let me show y'all. So you're gonna have this stacked up back right here with the layers in the center, and then it's gonna swing forward like that and then like this right here. Now I'm gonna work on styling mine real fast. I'm gonna blow dry it with the round brush, and I'm just gonna kind of bring it in like this, and then the back is gonna be kind of stacked up, and then I'm gonna show you how to texturize it as well. But if you guys wanna go ahead and start cutting it, you can. It's a very simple cut. Literally, take it down the middle. Everything on this side is being combed and cut back here. Everything on this side is being combed and cut back here. So it's gonna kind of meet each other in the center. I'm gonna get a better angle like this in the very center of the back, looking like a rooftop. Did that make sense? Does anybody have any questions? No? I'm gonna mute you guys that are on the blackboard so you don't have to hear the blow dryer so much. But just according to, for styling, I am using some blow dry spray. It's kind of a heat protectant, helps it blow dry quicker. For those of y'all on the video watching, you'll see that I'm just going to blow dry down and under here. think I just blew my breaker. I did. Okay, I put my sound back on, and I'm just going to kind of show you the general look of this. Let me stand right here so you can see. So, those of y'all that are watching the video here, you can definitely see that I still have that diagonal forward movement going forward, but what you're seeing is that now you've got this stack up here in the back. So you've got a lot of fullness back here. I'll turn it around to the other side. You can see the same thing. So it's all swinging forward. And then you've got this. So then let me show you the back. So what you'll notice here is that you've got all these layers up here in the back. So you start your layering right here and then it moves down. I don't know if y'all can see that there. You've got the higher stack right here in the back with the layers starting here and it's underneath. So you've got a lot of layering going on underneath here. So you've got layers, but you still have a kind of a solid weight line coming up here. To texturize this, now normally I would flat iron this, but I'm not going to take the time to do it. But normally I would flat iron it and then I would go into texturizing it. But all I did was a blowout. But what you'll notice is that a lot of times people don't want the bubble. Like there's like a literally bubble right here. So it kind of sits and gives a big weight line because it's really heavy through here. And so if you layer it, then you're into a layered bob, and maybe that's not what they want. Maybe they just wanted this stack. But what you can do is you can texturize this. You can texturize it in many ways. One of the simplest ways is to actually go in here and take that top layer and take that line right there, that very top layer part of it. Take thinning shears, the ones with the teeth, and then just hit the ends a couple of times and pull. I have some bad ones here. I don't really like these. Let's see if I have another pair. I do. So take that top layer and then you just kind of hit the ends and pull it out. What that does is it's softening up. And I'm going to work this side real fast just so you can see it in the video. And I just kind of thin those ends out just a little and right in there through the center. And what it does, it just takes that harsh line out and it starts laying it down a little bit softer. And it takes out that heavy weight. So when you see the bubble, or as everybody likes to say, the Karen, When you see that, and if you don't want that, then you can just really go in here and play with it and use your thinning shears, or you can even take your regular shears. Oh, right here. You can even take your normal shears, and you can also hold it up, and you can point cut like this into it and take out a little bit of that hair. And when you have a line and you're like, oh, I don't like that line, because maybe you got off a little bit, you can also take these same thinning shears and you can come right in on that line and just hit it, just clip down and then comb through, and you'll see that line just really start to disappear. And you can elevate it up a little bit and just really work that. Don't be scared. It's not going to take off all the hair. It just takes out bits and pieces. It's not taking out everything. But again, if you see a line in there, just take your shears and do that, and you'll see this side kind of calm down a little bit. Again, I don't have it flat iron, so you're not getting the greatest effect of it, but you'll kind of get the general idea how it lays. Alright, so this side is laying so much softer and smoother than this side over here. And let me turn it right. I don't know if you can see it straight up in there. So, well, guys that are online with me, can you tell what I'm talking about? That this side is really full and bubbly, but this side is laying much smoother. Can any of you guys see that are online with me right now? Okay, and that was just simply me leaving this alone, but taking these thinning shears and really just lifting this top layer and just hitting it like that, just snipping that top layer. And I just wanted you to see how that really causes a smoothness to occur here than a big bubble. And I'm going to show it in the video. So in the video, the same thing. Very smooth and tight, fitting a little closer to the head, very bubbly and thick. So what you need to understand is, if you have really thick hair, if someone had really thick hair and it was, you know, just thick, this is going to be a big bubble, but you can fix that by simply doing what I just did in there. Now later on we'll get into layering and stuff, and you can actually pick this up more and layer it, but if they just want this stacked bob, then this is what you would do.